Hello and welcome to the UW-Madison Competitive Sports Softball Tournament Rules. Equipment. A player shall not wear anything that may be dangerous to him or herself or another player. This includes jewelry, watches, metal spikes, and screw-in posts. The penalty for this: the offending player shall be instructed to leave the field and shall not be allowed back on the field until the situation is corrected. A legal substitute may replace the offending player at this time. Shoes must be worn. No sandals, boots, or bare feet permitted. Gloves or mitts must be worn by all defensive players. Catchers must wear a face mask while there is a batter at the plate. Players are to bring their own gloves and practice balls. Softball bats and game balls will be provided. Teams that bring their own bats must use ASA-approved softball bats. Go to www.asasoftball.com/about/certified_equipment.asp for more details. .44 core ASA-approved 12-inch softball will be the official game ball. Any player who is bleeding or has an open wound must leave the game until the wound is closed and bleeding has stopped. Players and substitutes. Men's and women's teams require 10 players for a full team. A minimum of 7 players is needed to start. A team may continue with less than 7 players if a player is injured and removed from the game. Co-rec teams need 10 players for a full team, 5 male and 5 female. You may start the game with a minimum of 7 players. The number of males and females on the field may only differ by 1. Teams playing short-handed must have a pitcher and catcher. 7 players must occupy the first 7 spots in the batting order. Anyone arriving late will fill the 8th, 9th, and 10th spots. Empty spots in the batting order will result in outs. A courtesy runner may take the place of any base runner injured during play with the understanding that both players are eligible for further participation in the game. Any eligible sub shall be used as a courtesy runner. If no eligible subs are available, the player who made the last out shall be the courtesy runner. If the last out is on base, up to bat, or next to bat, the previous available out should be used. Batting order. The team is allowed to bat 10 or 11 with an extra player, 12 with 2 extra players in co-rec, 1 male and 1 female in the batting order. The male-female batting rotation must be maintained in co-rec. For example, if a men's team has 11 players, all 11 may bat. For co-rec team, if the team has 6 males and 5 females, only 5 males and 5 females will be allowed to bat. If the team begins the game using an extra player, this must be maintained throughout the game. Players arriving late may not be added into the batting lineup unless they will be taking the 8th, 9th, or 10th spot in the order. In co-rec games, males and females must be alternated in the batting order. Substitutions. Team captain must notify umpires immediately of substitutions. All players may withdraw and re-enter a game once, but they must occupy the same batting position in the lineup. The opposing team handles improper re-entry with a protest. An improper re-entry becomes a violation after a pitch is made. Fielding positions. There can never be more than 10 players fielding at any one time. In co-rec, teams must have 2 female and 2 male players in both the infield and outfield. Teams playing short-handed must have at least 1 and no more than 2 females and males in both the infield and the outfield. The pitcher-catcher combination must be made up of 1 female and 1 male player. The dead ball area. All players must sit behind the chain-link backstop unless they are playing a defensive position, batting, or running the bases. All substitutes and spectators must stand or sit behind the chain-link backstop. Any teams warming up for games must warm up in the outfield beyond the foul line cones while the game is being played. No new innings of play will begin after the 50-minute mark. A game is complete after the completion of the inning after the 50-minute mark or 7 innings, whichever occurs first regardless of score. Extra innings will be played to declare a winner if the game is tied at this point. Mercy rule. After 3 innings, if a team is ahead by 20 runs, or after 4 innings if a team is ahead by 15 runs, or after 5 innings if a team is ahead by 10 runs. If the home team goes ahead by the mercy rule in the bottom half of an inning leading up to the mercy rule, the game will be terminated at that point. Unfinished games. In case the game is terminated due to darkness, weather conditions, or any unusual situations, the score shall revert back to the end of the last completed inning. The game will be considered complete if it reaches 5 complete innings, or if the game is called and the score difference is greater than 15 runs. Pitching regulations. At the highest point of the pitch, the arc shall be between 6 and 12 feet. If a quick pitch is thrown, the umpire shall call illegal pitch. The pitcher has 20 seconds to release the next pitch. If an illegal pitch is thrown, the umpire shall call illegal pitch. The batter has the option to take the pitch, which would be an automatic ball, or swing, in which case it becomes a legal pitch and the ball is alive if hit. The pitcher must keep the pivot foot in contact with the pitcher's plate until the pitched ball leaves the hand. Pitch must be made in one continuous motion and can only move forward and backwards once. The pitcher must be facing home at the time of pitch. Batting. Called strike is a legal pitch if it strikes home plate. This includes the black perimeter and or the carpet placed immediately in back of the plate. Any pitch not striking the plate or carpet and not swung at will be ruled a ball. If a batter steps with one or both feet entirely out of the batter's box, they shall be called out. If the batter steps on or over the plate or mat, they will be called out. Each batter will start with a 1-1 count. 4 balls will constitute a base on balls. A strikeout will consist of any combination of 3 strikes. A foul ball is considered a strike. With 2 strikes, the batter is allowed 1 free foul ball. The second foul will be considered a strike and the batter will be out. Correct base on balls. A male batter receives a base on balls or intentional walk, is awarded first base and second base, and the female batter who follows must bat unless there are 2 outs, and then she has the option to walk or bat. The male batter is not awarded second base if the following spot in the batting order is an out due to a team playing with less than 10 players and the next actual batter is male. Any fair ball which goes into another field off the bat of the hitter or following an error by a fielder shall be in play. If someone playing on the other field touches the ball, the batter shall be awarded the bases in the umpire's judgment he or she would have normally reached. If a defensive player collides with a participant on another field in pursuit of a batted ball, 2 bases will be awarded to the batter. Any base runner that intentionally runs into a fielder or catcher having possession of the ball will be declared out and will also be disqualified for the remainder of the game. On an overthrow, the out of bounds is delineated by an out of play line extending from the backstop. The overthrow penalty. 2 bases from the last base legally touched shall be awarded for an overthrow that goes out of play. This shall be determined from when the thrower releases the ball. For example, if a runner is between first and second when the throw has begun, they will be awarded second base, the base the runner is heading to, and third base, 1 additional base. If 2 runners are between the same base, the base awards are determined by the lead runner. There will be a line drawn 1/3 of the way home from home plate and third base. If a runner crosses this line, they must go home and will be considered a force out. When possible, the catcher has the home plate and the runner should use the mat to avoid collisions. Leadoffs, stealing, bunting, or chopping down on the ball are not permitted. Sliding is permitted. Those players that do not know how to slide properly are cautioned not to slide. First base. The double first base with the safety base will be used. Generally, the fielder will have the base in fair territory and the runner will have the base in foul territory. We will use the ASA double first base rule with the exception of an appeal for an out if the runner touches the base in fair territory. Home plate. The pitching mat behind the plate is considered to be an extension of the plate. And this concludes the Intramural Sports Softball Tournament Captains Meeting. The Captains Quiz found on IM Leagues must be completed with a score of 80% or higher before the team can be created. Feel free to contact the IM webmaster at imsports@recsports.wisc.edu with your questions or concerns. Thank you and have an amazing day.